Another hot night in the ATX. Come away with 1 point against FC Dallas, and oh my goodness, what a game that was. I was at Q2 Stadium watching the boys in black and green. So much to talk about. Hello everyone, my name is Ty Roeder, host of the Verde and Black Show here on YouTube with your in-depth look, analysis, recap of all things Austin FC. Wow. I mean, last night, very hot. Q2 was full. It was popping. It was a lot of fun. Granted, we did go down 2-0, but we were able to come back and show some fight and some grit and how we respond to adversity. And I think that's kind of been the theme of the season. It seemed like our center back and left back, right back four is pretty set right now. I don't think he changes much. And in Wolf's approach to games going forward, you obviously have Gabrielsen, Cascante, Gallagher, and Jimenez. And I think Gallagher he's come on this season, and it's been so impressive. And I think what's most impressive about him is even if he makes a mistake, he is so fast that he is able to get back and recover for really any type of sprint, any type of ball. He does have the ability to whip in balls similar to John Kolmanich. I'm becoming more and more of a fan of John Gallagher as the weeks go on and on. We did have the concern of Pereira not playing this game, so we had to shuffle some pieces around in the midfield. Obviously, we put in Felipe to start. I thought he did okay at the beginning. He showed a lot of fire, and some of that fire kind of turned into him getting angry at, simple, minute things that the FC Dallas players were doing, which I get. You want to have that intensity. I kind of feel like that's Ring's job, to be honest, in the midfield to kind of bring that fire. I was okay with Felipe doing it. I thought it kind of ignited, our team. The concerning aspect was, Jimenez got that really, really early yellow card, and I could have sworn it was his first foul of the game. So that was a little nerve-wracking at the very beginning, and then obviously Gabrielsen gets one at the 20th minute. It's never a good thing to have your center back pick up a yellow, especially in the first half. Man, I mean that's a recipe for disaster. But luckily, it didn't come back to hurt us in the end. It did feel like we held on to most of the possession, not even just in the first half, but throughout the entire game. And I mean, you see that in the stats. I mean, we had 63% possession to their 37. FC Dallas did create some really good chances, and I think FC Dallas is a force to be reckoned with. And I think this game, shows that we need to bolster our depth, maybe get some playmakers, because one of the things that really frustrated me last night when I was at the game was Urruti is sometimes on for certain games, sometimes he's off. There was an instance in the first half where he gave the ball away a little inside our own half with a really silly, dumb pass. I believe he was trying to play it back to Jimenez, and he just gave it away. FC Dallas quickly countered. They got a shot off, barely missed the inside of the post to Stuver's left. But even after he gave the ball away, he very gingerly jogged back to play defense. Growing up playing soccer in college, the number one thing that will piss any teammate off is if you give the ball away and you don't try to recover or play defense. Nothing pisses you off more than, because you understand everyone's going to lose the ball at some time or another, but it's how you respond once you give the ball away. And from the stands, I was screaming and yelling at Urruti. It pissed me off. They should have scored. We were lucky they didn't. I think, going into halftime, 0-0, I think Wolf realized that Urruti wasn't really getting it done at the forward spot tonight. So I think that's why he made the change to Gite. I was a little surprised to see Gite. I didn't know what to expect. I kind of thought maybe, you know, Hosen would come in, and he did for Owen Wolff, but Gite was a surprise. Gite did lead up to that goal for Driussi, but the FC Dallas goals, when they happened, I mean, we just got caught in the back with some silly mistakes, and like, I get it, you know, you're not going to play perfectly all the time. So when we went down 2-0, I did not think we were going to come back. Just the way the game was playing, I would have probably had put money on FC Dallas scoring a third goal before I said that we were going to score a single goal. They had all the momentum. They were playing very well. They knew how to counter, especially because we held the possession. We had a couple more shots. We had 18 shots, but we only had 4 on goal. They had 12 shots with 6 on goal. So yeah, once we go down 2-0, I give a lot of kudos and a lot of credit to Josh Wolff, because, you know, in those scenarios, it's all about how what the manager does with his player personnel. And after we went down 2-0, I remember standing up in my seat, and obviously Wolff can't hear me because I'm so far away, but I just yelled at Wolff. I said, "Figure it out, Wolff. Let's get something going." Because at that point, you know, we were down 2-0. I felt like we were playing for a 1-0 win, and clearly that was not going to work. Felipe coming in, you know, he did provide that spark and that fire from the very beginning, but he didn't really seem to want to press forward. He seemed content on keeping possession, maintaining the ball, passing it around. He wasn't really looking for chances to create, and I think that's something that Danny Pereira brings a lot to the table. Is he'll do the same things as Felipe in terms of defensive, and maybe he does make a mistake or two more than Felipe did, but I think Pereira is willing to take that risk and take that chance in order to create those opportunities on the offense. So once we went down 2-0, I mean, it was time to sub out Felipe, and we put in Finley. You know, we put in Gite. Gite did okay. I know he helped out with that Driussi goal. I would have liked to see Gite pass it to Driussi before, rather than, you know, kind of just lay it off. To me, from my angle, it looked like Gite kind of messed up and didn't know what he was doing as a forward. So, but, you know, it is what it is. As a forward, sometimes you get lucky. Pass it to Driussi, and Driussi was able to just slot it away like he always does. The MVP of MLS this season. I don't know if there's really a debate on that front, but speaking of Gite, there were a couple of instances where he completely whiffed. Right foot, left foot, doesn't matter. You're a forward. You need to be able to connect on the ball when you get the chance, and that's frustrating. I mean, I don't want to be too critical, but at the same time, like, what have you done? You know, you come in the 64th minute. When did he come in? Yeah, came in the 63rd minute. Had that one shot that helped out with Driussi, but other than that, you know, he didn't really provide much. Jumping to, you know, that second goal, Nick Lima, man, what a ball! And Danny Hosen, you got to feel so good for him. You know, last season he kind of was our starting forward, at least to start the season. It felt like he was going to maybe, you know, continue on, and then he got injured. So for him to get this game-tying goal was extremely nice. And Nick Lima, you know, same thing for him. A great game. To finish up, you know, we tie it up, and it's 2-2. You'd like to think that we were going for the win. It felt like we were. The fans in the stands were a little agitated because you could tell that, you know, we were still trying to keep possession, look for that right opportunity rather than push when we knew we had the momentum. So that's something that I would have liked to see, as well as Ethan Finlay in like the dying seconds of extra time, point blank, skied a ball. All he had to do was put it on target, and it was probably going in, and we would have won the game. So, you know I'm critical of these guys. I think someone needs to be. You know, I'm not rainbows and butterflies because we got a tie. We went down 2-0, and we were able to claw back a draw, which is nice. You know, you hate to lose at home, but at the same time, you know, why did it take for FC Dallas to score 2 goals for us to find some fire and play like we should have been playing all along. So that part's frustrating. I will give Wolf credit; he was able to adjust. Like he's, that's what he gets paid for, is to figure it out when things are going bad and consistently bring out a good product that will create scoring chances and defend. And the last 20 minutes was probably the best soccer of the game for Austin FC. And you would have liked to see a third. I wasn't. I was happy with a 2-2 draw, but you'd like to see that ferocity and fire for the entirety of the game. So we'll see moving forward. I do still think we're on the right track. I think what's going to matter, especially with LAFC signing Chiellini and Gareth Bale. Some other teams are signing some big name players. We have 2 games basically in the next 8 days, against Charlotte away and then the Rapids in Colorado on July 4th. So both of those games, although they are away, they are extremely winnable. Charlotte is not a quality side. The Rapids, I know they were a quality side last year, but they've kind of faltered as of late. So I think anything less than, I'd like to say 6 points, but I'll give them anything less than 4 points. A win and a draw will be a disappointment coming out of July 4th. So we'll see. I think we're set up in a good spot. I'd like to see our front office make a big signing, make a big splash. I don't know who that would be. I know some people were saying Luis Suarez or just someone, not another Rodney Redes, please. We need someone who can come in and contribute, almost like an equivalent Driussi. I'm not saying we bring in someone to replace Driussi, but at least someone who can come in and, either on the wings or up top. I think our back line is sound, and I do think we have depth, so I don't necessarily think we need a defender. I'd be okay with picking up maybe one, but man, if we can bring in like 2 offensive-minded players, even if they sit on the bench for the first month that they're here and just come off the bench and get quality minutes and kind of adjust MLS, I think that would be so beneficial, especially if we want to make a playoff run. These teams like LAFC, I know DC United signed a player. These teams are gearing up for, playoff time, and we need to do the same, especially if we want to be considered a playoff caliber squad. So it's exciting. It's exciting times at Austin FC. It looks like our next game is Tuesday, July 12th against Houston Dynamo, so another in-state derby. That'll be fun. Hopefully we can come out and thrash thrash Houston Dynamo, and then ironically we play FC Dallas the week after in Dallas. So that'll be fun. Appreciate everyone saying hi to me yesterday. I enjoyed meeting all of you, and excited to see where Josh Wolf takes us. All right, Listos.